Welcome to another spiritual awakening with yours truly, Dr. A.G. Green Sr. I am honored and privileged to be with you here on today. You know exactly what to do, family. Tag and share, share and tag. That's it. Tag and share and tag. Let our supporters know that we are on the air. Tag and share and tag and share and tag. So excited and delighted to be with you here on this particular day. And so we want to do what we can in this moment to share the stream, share the broadcast, so that those who are connected with our online community will know that we are here and that we are rolling or ready to roll or getting ready to roll. Let's pray. Almighty, we just thank you for this time and this space and this time. Thank you for all the viewers. We bless you in this moment and in this hour. And we are seeking you for divine guidance. We thank you for illumination and revelation that can bring about elevation. We thank you that the elevation brings about ascension. Thank you that the will of your truth, the will of this moment, the desire of your heart and mind, and that of this great universe you've crafted and constructed, are in alignment with all of us now, for we submit to it. And we thank you for that which we shall experience together in these moments. In Yeshua's name, his way, his power, his consciousness, it is so, and so it is. So glad to see you, and you on tonight. And when you have tagged and shared, just let us know in the comment section that I tagged or I shared. Please share that in the comment section with us on tonight so that we will know that you have followed through with your portion of this partnership in terms of what you and I are doing together in the Spirit and by the Spirit. And I trust and hope that all is well. I always like to remind you that you are made in the image and the likeness of a powerful creator. And you and I are the offspring of this all-powerful creator. And as a result of that, we are powerful. And so I want you to type in the comment section, I am powerful. Declare and decree it with your mouth. Speak it out loud. I am powerful. Come on, type in the comment section. I am powerful. Declare it, decree it. The scripture tells us now to him that is able to do exceeding abundantly above all that we ask or think according to the power that worketh in us. And the power, family, worketh in us, from within us. It is not external. It is internal. You must own the power. And if you own the power, then you can get to know the power. And if you get to know the power, then you'll be granted some understanding of exactly what this power is and how to effectively utilize it in your personal life. And what an honor and a privilege it is to not just be here, to not just bide time, some would say waste time, but to know in these precious moments that you and I have on this planet, that we are coming into the knowledge, an awareness, and understanding of who and what we are And it is a privilege to be able to know and access this kind of information because this kind of information is the information that can ultimately, family, change your lives forever. Do you hear what I'm saying? I heard a powerful media mogul and entrepreneur and business owner say something that I have been saying for several years now. It is not that knowledge is power, but I have said the proper application of knowledge is power. There's something about knowing, there's something about not just having that knowledge, but putting it into practice and, of course, utilizing and exercising that knowledge appropriately, properly. You and I, when we know how to properly apply knowledge, will benefit in a most tremendous, tremendous, tremendous way. And so this is why programs like this are relevant and important, because we don't just discuss the knowledge that is being revealed to us, but we try and teach you how to appropriately apply the said knowledge. Check in tonight, loved ones. Check in tonight. How are you? Check in tonight. How are you? And while you're checking in, I must remind you while you are checking in that I have a powerful book out that I want you to get: Unshackling Your Mind, Discover and Overcome Limiting Beliefs. And it comes with three powerful companions. A mind map companion helps you map it out, a mind map with a mind map companion, and last but not least, a bonus overview video from me. The website you will go to is payhip.com/AG Green now. Payhip.com/AG Green now. And if you have not already spread the word about the book, please spread the word about the book. We want as many people as possible to get their hearts and minds on it. Let's see. Checking in, Hillary says, better than this morning. Linda says, doing good. Krista says, a little tired, overall feeling good. And therapist Jerry Cotton, the pastor, says, doing well, peaceful and expecting. Peaceful and expecting. What a wonderful thing it is to be in expectation. And so I would ask the rest of you, are you in expectation tonight? Are you in expectation tonight? That is a good question. Are you in expectation tonight? That's a good question to begin with. It is a good question to ask you. Are you in expectation tonight? I have discovered over time that expectation is directly connected to manifestation. I'm going to say it again. Expectation is directly connected to manifestation. When whatever it is that you and I expect, that expectation is hope. We are familiar with Hebrews 11:1 from the biblical text. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for. The word hope means to expect. It also means to expect something good. It is the substance of things hoped for, but it is also the evidence of things not seen. So it is the substance, the hypostasis, the assurance of what we expect. And that assurance of what we expect creates a conviction. That assurance creates a conviction. That conviction is your faith. Therefore, your faith works hand in hand with your expectation. Now, we don't practice hope alone. We practice hope with faith. I'm going to say it again. We don't practice hope alone. We practice hope with faith. The two go together in a powerful, dynamic relationship. If you're hoping without faith, you're merely wishing. I'm going to say it again. If you're hoping without faith, you're merely wishing. But let me help you to understand that even if you are wishing, you are manifesting, meaning that there may not be faith attached to it, but you're producing an outcome of just wishing, which basically means you'll be living in a cyclical pattern of thinking, of wishing, that's not producing what is the idea in your heart in terms of the desire. It is merely producing, I wish the desire would happen. I wish the desire would come. And basically what happens in those moments is that you find yourself in situations where you're lacking the fruit. You're lacking the fruit. And who knows why we have desires, but only hope without faith. Sometimes hoping without faith is because people don't know how to effectively, consistently utilize faith. Now, other times people have created a protective mechanism because they believe that they have attempted to somehow, some way have faith before and they failed in it. And so therefore I should paraphrase this, they are using faith, but they're using faith in just the expectation mode without a conviction of the desire actually coming to fruition in their lives. They are merely placing their faith in an expectation, but not in an expectation of the results, but just in an expectation of wishing. They feel protected by just wishing and not following through with the steps that faith requires. So consider that. Consider that. But just understand you and I must exercise and we must practice faith and we must practice bold faith. Bold faith. We've been in a series for several weeks now. We might finish it tonight. We just might get it done tonight. We'll see how the flow goes. We might get it done tonight. We'll see how the flow goes. And I hope thus far you've already been experiencing some useful information from what I just said. It's nowhere in my notes. It just flowed. So I just let it do what it does or do what it did. I am pulling up the title right quick. That's why I'm scrolling here. Pulling up the title. I think I'm in the right. Oh, no wonder I'm in the wrong one. Let me switch over to my spiritual awakening. Here we go, right here. And I want somebody to get us Psalm 1 and 3. Psalm 1 and 3. Let's go there. Psalm 1 and 3. Psalm 1 and 3. Let's go there real quickly. Psalm 1 and 3. Psalm 1 and 3. I think we are 6 or 7 lessons in deep on this. You know, I just take my time. It's you and I and whoever joins us on a week by week basis. And so I don't see a need to rush to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. I just continue to ruminate and then feed off what I'm feeding on and just share it with you. Psalm 1 and 3. I want my helpers, my assistants to put it up in the chat. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. He shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. Remember, I talked about verse 2 for several weeks, and I've also been on verse 3 for a few weeks, and I prefer not to go back through that. So while this These previous teachings are still on the timeline for both Facebook and YouTube before we take them down. If you're just catching us in the seventh, eighth, whatever number it is in the installment, make sure you go back, look at the dates, and start from the beginning, and you'll see there's some rich information concerning all of verse 2 and the majority of verse 3 that we have already discussed with you. I will do a brief recap in order for contextual purposes. Understand that a person who delights in the law of the Lord, and remember the law of the Lord is directly from Hebrew texts referring to the Decalogue, of what's known as the Ten Commandments. This text was written in a day and an hour where it was a strong belief by the author that when you lived according to those commandments, there would be blessings. And I say to you, not just from a spiritual sense, from this generation that we live in, but from a metaphysical revelatory sense, it also has something to do with the definition of law itself, which is a system that regulates, a system that regulates. The system that this author believed maximized and optimized his lifestyle was the Ten Commandments. You and I today, whether we recognize it or not, live according to systematic processing of thoughts, or systemically, we live in a paradigm, and that paradigm has rudimentary building blocks, mental building blocks called schema. More importantly, I would say to you that your mind is regulated by beliefs. Your mind is regulated by beliefs. Again, that is a system. He talked about meditating on this day and night, which basically helps us to understand, as far as we're concerned, in the definition of what we consider to be a 24-hour day is filled with both light and darkness. Therefore, he is covering every hour of the day and telling us that we should continually have our thoughts regulated by the law. In this case, he's talking about the Ten Commandments, the Decalogue. And I say to you again in a spiritually expansive way that, again, your mind is regulated and controlled by a law. Again, I love Paul's text because he said, in my mind, or with my mind, he said, I serve the Lord. I want you to always remember that our minds, whether we understand it or not, are controlled by core beliefs. We should also understand that these core beliefs are embedded in the subconscious part of our being, which I believe is also comprised or is your spiritual mind, your spiritual essence. Whatever it is, you have impressed upon it through emotion, which is interpreted as conviction, becomes your core belief. So your conceptualization about your life, your conceptualization about self, your concept or conceptualization about God, your conceptualization about the world that you live in, is lived in the mind. Point blank. It is lived within the place where you think, where you feel, you imagine, and you believe. So if there are faulty beliefs there, then you're going to project into the world and live according to these faulty beliefs. But if there are powerful, truthful beliefs that are conducive to your growth and development, then these are the things that are going to manifest in your life. And again, you as a spiritual species, as the divine offspring of an almighty God, have the ability to do these things. And you also have the leeway as a spiritual species, number one, to govern your own mind, and number two, to create and to manifest. The power of choice, one thing we see is embedded from the earliest text to the latest text. It's embedded in these texts. You don't live on autopilot. Well, in a sense, you do based on these core beliefs. But what I'm saying, you're not an automaton and you're not a robot. The Almighty does not do everything contrary to what you may have been taught. You co-create this world, you co-create your life, you co-create this reality. And it's going to be based on what you believe, and what you believe is what you know or what you think you know. And you all will remember that I did some teaching, I think it was earlier this year or last year, on epistemology, a philosophical branch of epistemology discusses with us how we know, how we know anything, not just from epignosis, the Greek word epignosis or the Greek word gnosis, but how we come to know knowledge, how we come to have knowledge. There are various different ways that I discuss with you as to how we know something. Ultimately, what I'm trying to say is your belief is what you believe you know. It's what you perceive you know, which creates a perspective. And so, from the perspective of this writer, he says in his law, doth he meditate day and night? Again, I cover this verse again because the bonus, the bonus in terms of a powerfully manifested life first begins in a powerfully mentally constructed life. Whatever your mental construction determines your natural physical manifestation. Whatever it is you're thinking determines being. Whatever it is you're thinking determines what you see in the world. Am I making any sense to anybody so far? I hope I see more likes and hearts in the comment section. So I thought it imperative that you and I understand as we get a little bit deeper into verse 3. And again, I've been on verse 3 for several weeks now. I really want to finish up with the last two words. But again, I must touch a little bit on verse 3 before I finish, because I want to get into whatsoever he doeth shall prosper today. That's really what I want to get into. Let me pull something up on my computer real quickly. Whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. So the writer says, and he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water. I think I spent 2 to 3 weeks talking about trees and root systems and the consciousness of trees and the interconnected root systems, and how scientists have grown to believe that trees have an intelligence, and how they below ground share root systems and share moisture and share nutrients with other trees in the efforts of helping them to thrive, to survive, and to thrive. But we also talked about the significance of what water means to a life form. We talked about the significance of that. We also talked about, in a metaphorical sense, what it means to be parked or positioned next to a source that provides you with all of the elements you need to thrive, to subverse, to survive, and then to thrive. We discussed that. And I shared with you that some people are parked in a desert. Some people are positioned next to dry places. Some people are positioned in their life next to people, places, and situations that are not feeding them. They're not growing in these places. They're not growing uh, in terms of what they're feeding on and what they're feeding from. The reason why there are many dissatisfied people in the world, they're dissatisfied people in the world because they're not satiated, meaning their thirst is not quenched and their hunger is not satisfied. Their thirst is not quenched and their hunger is not satisfied. When deep calleth unto deep, it is looking for the connectedness to the depth to at least match where it is and have the potential to feed it more. When people are calling out to something, and what they're calling out to is shallow, what they're calling out to is incapable of sustaining them, then this is where frustration begins. This is where disappointment begins. And this is where people start trying to find or position themselves in a place that's actually going to feed their soul. It's actually going to feed their heart. It's actually going to provide them with sustenance. Sustenance. Remember, you are three-dimensional, I believe, as a multidimensional being, a three-dimensional being. You require sustenance for your spirit, although your spirit is not physical and does not require food, yet your spirit, I believe, requires feeding, which would be spiritual food and things that come from that dimension, your soul, your mind, your will and emotions, which represents the intellect. It also represents your character. It represents how you show up in the world. It requires feeding as well. Okay. Let me say this for station identification, that the group of people that you are connected to, sometimes we can get a one-stop shop, or we can visit our circle and we can experience a one-stop shop, meaning we are in the company of people who can feed us spiritually, they can feed us intellectually, they can feed us emotionally, and they can, of course, feed us physically. But sometimes you find yourself in situations where you must compartmentalize how you feed or where you feed. You might have to go one place to be fed spiritually and go another place to be fed intellectually and emotionally. And of course, last but not least, you can't eat at everybody's physical kitchen table anyway. That's food for thought. And where some of us find ourselves being discouraged is that we believe religion in the place that we go to be fed spiritually can feed us psychologically. And many times it's left lacking in the psychological department. And the psychological department is neglected. The psychological department is neglected because they are not cognizant that it needs to be owned, and they're not cognizant that it is really the core of your existence and the core of your being. They're not aware of the truth that I must feed that in order for your spirituality to be fully expressed. So what happens is you find yourself in these places, and you appreciating scripture, you're appreciating dance, they're appreciating the worship, but you can't appreciate the intellectual side of the interpretation of the text, and you cannot appreciate the intellectual translation of it to you where it is applicable in your personal life. And so therefore you struggle greatly because you find there is no reconciliation between the two. You find that it appears that you're in places where your psychological state of being, your intellectual state of being, your imaginative state of being is found to be useless, or found to be something that is not underscored or appreciated. As a result of that, you feel malnourished, or you're suffering from malnutrition. Am I making any sense to anybody? And so this is why I encourage you to say that you can't always find the first two things in the same place in terms of your spiritual journey. I would prefer to say spiritual over religious, because to me, religion is so filled with faulty, trite ideas that are not always spiritual, that at times do more to confine and bind than to liberate. Didn't mean to say all that. Please forgive me. So, so whatever it is you're thinking on, whatever it is you're thinking about, whatever it is that's regulating your life, is going to largely determine, again, your ability to prosper. And let me just underscore this again, it's going to largely determine where you are positioned in life. Hear me, family. So now if you are positioned in a place where you're drying up, you're desiccated, if you're positioned at a place where there's only a stream and not a river, if you're positioned at a place where there is rain every now and then, if you're positioned at a place where there's a river instead of an ocean, if you are positioned in a place where you are connected to an ocean of water, but not all the oceans of water, I want you to understand it is directly connected to your thinking. And your thinking, again, is directly connected to whom you have allowed to influence or make deposits in your mind. And it is directly connected from the teachers who have created, crafted, and constructed a psychological and spiritual system or framework that you're living in right now. I want you to hear me real clearly. So that means that at times we because we are absorbing and living according to certain said teaching, it is limiting, binding, hindering, and restricting us. And therefore, instead of being placed next to a river, instead of being placed next to a something that will actually feed us and give us life, we are positioned next to something that's killing us, something that's destroying us, something that's dragging us down, something that's not conducive or beneficial to our growth and development. Am I making any sense to anybody? I should be getting more likes and hearts. I hope you understand exactly the words that are coming out of my mouth. He says, and he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water. So let me bring this forth, bring this out real quickly. Who bringeth forth his fruit in his season. I want you to type in the comment section, harvest time. Type in the comment section, harvest time. Type in the comment section, harvest time. Type it in the comment section, harvest time. Type that real quickly in the comment section, harvest time. Harvest time, real quickly, harvest time. And I want one of my supporters to go to Malachi chapter 3 and verse 11 real quick. Thank you so much. Harvest time. So what this is discussing here, and again, I touched a little on this last week. I don't want to go too deeply into it, but let me bring up a scripture, Malachi 3 and 11. Real quick, somebody, one of my assistants, put that up on the screen for us. Malachi, matter of fact, let's see here. We might can do 3 and 10. If you can get 10 in there, put 10 in there as well. Let me let me pull that up myself here. Let me pull that up myself here, Malachi, because I'm adding this at the last minute, and I want to make sure that I properly encapsulate my contextualization. Let's see, 3 and what did I say? 10 or 3 and 11, and I said you can put. Let's just do 11. Just do 11. Just do 11. Just do 11, because 10 is talking about the tithe, and it is an Old Testament. 3 and 11, Malachi 3 and 11. Thank you so much. A law system, something under the law. We don't even want to get into that. Might offend some folk on here. But, and I rebuke the vow. Is that all of verse 10? I think that's only part of verse 10. Hillary. Let's look at verse 11. Is that verse 11? Let me look in the text here. And I will rebuke. Yeah, that's true. That's it. And I will rebuke the devourer for your sakes, and he shall not destroy the fruits of your ground. Neither shall your vine cast her fruit before the time in the field, saith the Lord of hosts. Since I'm at this text, we're going to come back to this text, but let me pull out the last part, because again, even though it's talking about the tithe is a giving action. And we're going to be discussing doeth here in a minute. And so you can apply the principle not just to a tithe, but to giving in general. But let me just say this. It is talking about the protection that takes place in the life of a person who partners with the spiritual system, a law of giving and a law of reciprocity. In saying that, in this particular case, it's talking about the tithe. Again, I don't want to get into that because, it is something that was initiated before the law, instituted during the law, I should say more officially, but you live in a different dispensation, and folks are still arguing as to whether you should be doing that or not. It's still a prudent, practical thing that blesses and empowers people when they give from the heart. All right. But I don't want to get into that now. I want to get into the aspects of the text that talks about your fruit being protected, meaning that it is not going to miscarry. And this is what I discussed with you in brevity on last week as we were looking at verse 3. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. I want you to understand, family, that it is possible to become impregnated. All right. You've been inseminated. All right. Then you become impregnated. You become impregnated. And it is possible through this impregnation to be carrying vision, to be carrying fruit, all right, to be carrying offspring, to be carrying something that is representative of a harvest in you. So you knew, not necessarily in the moment of conception, but you begin to mark the recognition of the moment of impregnation, knowing that you were impregnated because you could feel the harvest kicking. You can feel the offspring in you kicking, whether it's the business, you could feel the business kicking, whether it's the manifestation of finances, you can feel the finances, I would say, in the womb of your spirit, in the womb of your heart kicking. You could sense the relationship in the womb of your heart, in the womb of yourself kicking. So you knew that it was conceived. You knew that it was alive. Hear me. You knew that the reality of its existence was certified and bona fide, right? Because it kicked. You could feel it moving around. You could see the signs of its existence. So you saw what you saw and you knew what you knew. But hear me, as I explained before, but if you deliver it in the 3rd month of your pregnancy, it won't live. If you deliver it in the 5th month of your pregnancy, it's going to struggle to live. It's going to be premature. In terms of an agrarian agricultural society, the psalmist is talking about he brings forth his fruit in his season. He's saying that when you regulate your thoughts according to a appropriate system that's conducive for success, you are not going to birth the business prematurely. You're not going to birth the relationship prematurely. You're not going to birth the entrance into college prematurely. You're not going to birth the rise in your career prematurely. You're going to birth it in the exact time frame that is required for it to live and turn around and bless you. Oh, and there's not enough teaching done on the fact that I became pregnant. There's not enough teaching done on the fact that I carried and incubated in my spiritual womb something that is alive, but it came too soon. It could have came too soon because you were with somebody. Hear me, family. This may sound cruel, but it could have come too soon because you were with somebody who kicked you in the belly and tried to destroy your birth, tried to destroy your embryo, tried to destroy the fetus, tried to destroy those babies, those twins, those triplets, those quintuplets, those pentuplets that you were carrying. You could have been with somebody, hear me, and you were incubating the seed of confidence, the seed of growth, the seed of faith, the seed of positive self-love, the seed of a new self-image, the seed of an image that showed you thriving and prospering. But you were with people who wanted you to abort it. Oh my goodness. And it is possible that you were so polluted and contaminated in your own mind and in your own thinking that by your own hand and by your own devices, you contaminated the pregnancy to the point that you caused your own self to miscarry. I wish I had more likes and hearts because I'm in somebody's living room. I'm in somebody's life right now. And again, we can trace it back to what you're thinking. We can trace it back to what your core beliefs. We can trace it back to what your belief system. We can trace it back to what the system of your own thinking. We can trace it back to what that which controlled and regulated your mind, regulated it in a positive sense, regulated it in a negative sense. We can trace it back to that. So you've been pregnant before. You just delivered it in the wrong timing. I wish you heard what I said today. You have been pregnant before with happily pregnant. Come on now, could not see your feet, but something caused you to deliver it before the proper time. And as a result of that, hear me, just like in the physical body, a miscarriage is really your body saying that the fetus or the life you're carrying has not been created, crafted, and constructed properly. So it's going to initiate a shutdown of the development of the child and cause you to release it out of your body. Hear what I'm saying today? The same thing happens between God, our partnership with God in what I believe to be a conscious universe, is that sometimes you and I are carrying something that we're not equipped to carry. We're carrying something that's not in the will, what we call the will of God, or not in the master plan of how something should be developed within you. It's not developing the best parts of you. It's not developing properly inside of you. I need you to hear what I'm saying. It's not growing. It's missing an arm. It's missing a leg. It's missing an eye. It's missing feet. I need you to catch what I'm saying today. The heart didn't form correctly. The inner organs are not forming correctly in terms of your harvest. And God knows it. Come on here, somebody. The Almighty knows it. The Creator knows it. And instead of allowing you to hold on to it for the full amount of time, watch this, and then you have it and then turn around and become, the thing you love that becomes the headache of your life, or the thing you love that creates new trial and struggle in your life, then natural things will take over to shut it down. I need you to catch what I'm saying today before you have come to full term. Catch what I'm saying today. So I'm going to flip this on you real quickly. You should be glad that certain relationships died in your womb. Ooh. You should be glad that certain opportunities died in your womb. Oh my goodness. You should be glad that certain things and certain situations and certain associations that you were connected with, that you were forming, died. My God, in the womb. It is God's way of saying to you that it's not forming right, it's not forming properly. This is why it had to die. And this is why you tried to deliver it before time. I induced a delivery. Sometimes the delivery is induced purposely by the divine. Sometimes the harvest is induced purposely by the divine because it's not lining up right. I need you to type it in the comment section. I need you to type in the comment section. This blessing must line up correctly. The blessing must be aligned. Type that. No, let's type this. It's got to line up correctly. Type that in the comment section. It's got to line up correctly. In other words, it's got to be formed correctly. Hear me. There's something you might have been thinking on that caused it to become malformed. There's somebody you've been associated with. They may have caused it to be malformed. Hear me again. There's somebody you've been associated with, watch this, who may have impregnated you even with the wrong seed, that's bringing forth something that's more demonic than it is good. Come on here, somebody. It can't come to birth because you have a relationship with God. It can't come to birth because the Almighty knows that it's not pure. It's not what you need. And so it will miscarry. It will come too soon. And you don't understand that again, it is God's way, just like it's the physical body's way of saying, this is not the harvest you want. Lord have mercy. But the blessed man or woman who's in alignment, in sync with truth, and in alignment, in sync with the word, and in alignment, in sync with proper spiritual principles, is not going to have to concern themselves with if it's forming right in me. And they're not going to have to concern themselves with when it shows up, because it's going to show up on time. Who is the Spirit of God speaking to here today? I want you to type it in the comment section. My harvest will manifest at the right place and the right time. Come on, type it in the comment section. My harvest will manifest at the right place at the right time. Type it in the comment section. My harvest will manifest at the right place at the right time. Somebody type that in the comment section. My harvest will manifest at the right place at the right time. I got to be talking to somebody here tonight who needs this. You may have been struggling to wonder when it's going to come together. You may have said to yourself, I had miscarriage after miscarriage. You may have said to yourself, this has happened to me 10 times in a row. I get to month number 5 and it looks like everything is going good, and then I lose that. Oh my God, hear me real clearly. That I just came by here to encourage somebody. I came by here to encourage somebody. I came by here to encourage somebody that the thing that you're dealing with, the situation and circumstance, the dream, the desire, the vision, come on here, that's incubating in your heart and has been there for years, that you know is divinely given. You know is divinely from God. You know that it is something that came from the Almighty, but it seems as if you carry it to a certain place and it dies on you. I came by here to tell you that it is not dead. That ultimate, hear me, that ultimate vision, that ultimate dream, that assignment, and that purpose that you seem to be fumbling with and fumbling around, those pregnancies that seem to never go to full term. I came by here to tell you that that which has been ordained in you to be shall be. It already is so, and it shall be, and you are going to deliver it. It's a matter of you just continuing to align yourself with God's thinking, align yourself with proper spiritual principles, aligning yourself with faith, the proper amount of expectation and faith. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Listen, the right place, family, at the right time. I'm gonna say it again. The right place at the right time. You know why? Because you have developed, hear me now. You have developed a hookup with the right water sources. You have developed a hookup with the spirit that's going to feed you, the spirit of the living God. You've developed the right hookup with that which is going to provide you with the proper nourishment that is required for somebody like you to be able to have a pregnancy that thrives, to be able to incubate a harvest that thrives and comes to full term, and you're actually able to release it. Hear me. You're able to complete the harvest cycle of graduating from college. You're able to complete the harvest cycle of being elevated. You're able to complete the harvest cycle through ministry and serving people at levels that are necessary to reach as many people as possible. Hear me. You are aligning to produce yourself as a people helper, a people server, somebody who's going to serve people with healing and deliverance and support. You need to catch what I'm saying today. You're going to manifest the income. You're going to be able to take it to full term. And it has everything to do with the hookup of the water resource. In scripture, the Holy Spirit is represented as water at times. I also want you to understand that this water also is representative of that which you are drinking, that which you are imbibing, that which you are taking in. I want you to catch what I'm saying today. You are at the right place at the right time so that your harvest will not be sabotaged by inappropriate circumstances, because you are positioned next to the rivers of water. You're going to bring forth your fruit in your season. Hear me. Your leaf, family, your leaf is not going to wither. On a tree that doesn't have, for example, apples, the leaf is like the fruit. The leaf is the product of the tree. I want you to catch what I'm saying today. And some of you live in certain climates where trees do not go dormant. Warmer climates, trees don't go dormant, like grass doesn't turn brown. It is active throughout the whole year. And this tree is representative of a man or woman's life. Hear what I'm saying today. And I'm saying to you that when you have the right thinking, it positions you next to the right source of nourishment, the right source of moisture, the right source of water, the right source of connections, the right source of people. Hear me. And you will produce fruit all the time. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. You will produce fruit all the time. Catch what I'm saying today. Some of you have been in what you believe to be dormant seasons. Somebody type it in the comment section. Winter is over for me. Come on, type that in the comment section. Winter is over for me. Winter is over for me. Somebody type that in the comment section. Winter is over for me. Oh, my goodness. Somebody type that in the comment section. Winter is over for me. Oh, my goodness, my goodness, my goodness, my goodness. Come on, type it in the comment section. Winter is over for me. Now, why do I say winter is over for you? Somehow, some way, the effects of winter on regular trees, again, causes it to go into a dormancy cycle and stop producing leaves or stop producing fruit. Catch what I'm saying today. Don't you want to get to a place that no matter what the weather is, it doesn't have an effect on you? Catch what I just said. Don't you want to get to the place, no matter who is for you or who is against you, it doesn't affect your ability to produce fruit? Come on here, somebody. Don't you want to get to a place where every single day of the year, spiritually, in your mind, will, and emotions, physically, relationally, and financially, and socially, and in every area of your life, you are prospering every day? Come on here, somebody. And don't you want to get to the place when people say, well, winter is coming, so expect things to slow down? You know that when winter sets in for nobody else, everybody else, or even when winter decides to show up in your life, it doesn't affect your ability to produce. Oh, my goodness. Don't you want to live a life that when it's snowing outside, come on here, when sleet is falling, when ice is on the ground? Hear what I'm saying. It don't change the balance in your checking account to worse. It gets better. It continues to trend upward. Don't you want to be in a situation that no matter what it is you're plugged into, it always prospers. It always flourishes. Come on here, somebody. People bring you bad news. You say, oh, this hurts. This is sad. You cry for a few minutes. Come on here. But it doesn't change your ability to produce. It doesn't change your ability to be successful. It doesn't change, watch this, the abundance levels in your life, because your leaf or your fruit or the product of you never ever withers. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. I wish somebody heard what I said today. Let me try and get to do it. I know you want to be there. There are people who are living that right now. Did you hear what I said? There's winter in their relationships, but your relationship is always warm. It don't mean you don't have no challenges, but your relationship is always by the fire. Catch what I'm saying today. There are people who are experiencing winter in their finances, but you are so blessed and empowered. Hear me, with because of your relationship with God and your relationship with spiritual principles and regulating your thoughts with the right core beliefs. Hear what I'm saying, that your career or the job you work on or the business you have or the other things you do, they are continuing to prosper. It never ever dries up. And folk will look at you and say, how are you doing this? People will look at you and say, how are you blessed? Because you are the blessed man or woman who is operating according to certain principles that no matter what happens in your life, it doesn't phase you. You don't digress. You don't regress. You always progress. Somebody typing in the comment section, I don't digress. I don't regress. I always progress. Type it in the comment section. I don't digress. I don't regress. I always progress. Come on, that's your confession. I don't digress. I don't regress. I always progress. Make that an affirmation for somebody. Type it in the comment section so I can put it up. I don't digress. I don't regress. I always progress. Oh, somebody needs to catch that. What if you develop that as a part of your belief system? Come on here, somebody. What if you develop that as a part of your core beliefs? Do you understand that storms would come, but you would always progress? Do you understand that the seasons would change, but you would always progress? And I'm asking you the question. I'm asking you the question right now. Who says you have to have a setback? Come on now. Who says you have to have a bad season? Hear what I'm saying today. Who says that you have to lose? Catch what I'm saying today. I want you to hear me real clearly, because the blessed man or the woman, according to the psalmist, hear me, according to the psalmist, is saying that your leaf shall never, ever wither. The fruit you produce will never, ever wither. Here we go. Here we go. I'm getting ready to get you, and then I'm going to be done. Let me look at my time. Can I take a few more minutes? Yes or no? Can I take a few more minutes? Yes or no? Can I just have a few more minutes? Yes or no? Because there's something I want to bring out here real quickly. Can I have a few more minutes? Yes or no? Talk back to me. I want to get to the word doeth tonight. I just need a few more minutes. I just need a few more minutes. I just need a few more minutes. I want one of my supporters to put up Genesis 1:7. Genesis 1:7. I just need a few more minutes. Genesis 1:7. Put it up for me real quickly. Genesis 1:7. Genesis 1:7. Can I have a few more minutes? Let me see if I got the yes. I got one yes. I got a couple of yeses. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Here we go. Here we go. Thank you so much. Genesis 1:7. Copy and paste that scripture up for me. My supporters, you know who you are. My assistants, you know who you are. Thank you so much. And God made the expanse and separated the waters that were under the expanse from the waters that were above the expanse, and it was so. Let me see. I want the King James Version. Here we go. Here we go. Right here. But let me break something down for you. I want you to type the word doeth in the comment section real quickly. Type the word doeth in the comment section. And then I'm going to respond to this. Type the word doeth in the comment section real quickly. Type the word doeth in the comment section. His leaf also should not wither. And whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. Do you know the word doeth here is a Hebrew word asa? That word, Hebrew word asa, means to do, fashion, accomplish. I'm going to say it again. To do, fashion, accomplish. I'm going to say it one more time. To do, fashion, accomplish. Do you know that that word asa in Hebrew is the same word for that same Hebrew word used for made in Genesis 1 and 7. Look at this. And God made. If you look that up in Hebrew, it would say, and God asa the firmament and divided the waters, which were under the firmament from the waters, which were above the firmament. So listen to this. Listen to this. It is a creative term. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Somebody gonna catch me here in a minute. It is a creation term. To do, fashion, accomplish, make. I forgot to mention that. To do, fashion, accomplish, make. It is a creative term, family. So what it is saying is this. His leaf also shall not wither. And whatsoever he creates, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Whatsoever he or she creates, I'm going to say it one more again. Whatsoever he or she fashions or makes. Did you catch that? Whatsoever he or she fashions or makes. I'm going to say it one more time. Whatsoever he or she does, fashions, accomplishes, or makes shall prosper, shall be profitable. The primitive root of prosper is another Hebrew word that means to push forward, to break out, to go over, to be good, be profitable. Oh, Lord, have mercy. Oh, Lord, have mercy. Oh, Lord, have mercy. Hear what I'm saying today. Type it in the comment section. Type it in the comment section. I am a powerful creator. Type that in the comment section. I am a powerful creator. The word doeth here, asa, same word for made in Genesis 1 and 7. It talks about how God made. It is saying what God did. It is saying what God fashioned. Catch that, family. Catch that. Hear me. This is so powerful that when your mind and your heart are in alignment with God, in alignment with the right spiritual truths, and in alignment with the right spiritual laws. Catch this, family. What you do, what you make, loved ones, what you fashion, what you create is prosperous. Oh my goodness. Ooh, I wish I had more likes and hearts. I wish I had more likes and hearts. I got to release you in the next couple of minutes. I wish I had more likes and hearts. Did anybody just catch what I just said? Did anybody just catch what I just said? What I just said to you is that this blessed man or woman, whatever they create, come on now, whatever they declare and decree, whatever they do, this text said, I got here too late to write this text. This text said, they are going to prosper. They are going to create something. They're going to create something, Pastor Cotton, that prospers. Oh God, somebody help me. Somebody ought to be shouting. You ought to be dancing around the table. Yes, I'm talking to you. I'm not talking to folk in the pulpit. I'm not talking to folks who shine out 24/7 a day. I'm talking to you, blessed man and blessed woman. I'm talking to you, blessed woman and blessed man. Whatever you do, whatever you fashion, whatever you make, come on here, whatever you create, it prospers. Oh, 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 my goodness. Oh, oh Lord. I need that to sink in. You know why? Because you're programmed to think that sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. Yeah. I know I need to let that sink in because you're programmed to think that you're supposed to lose. You're supposed to have your share of losses. Come on here. I know you're programmed to think you're supposed to have your share of failures. And guess what? We have our share of failures and we have our share of losses because we don't have the knowledge and sometimes the proper application of the knowledge. Catch what I just said today. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. But when your life is lived by a certain season, have you ever noticed successful people who always seem to win? Come on, hear what I'm saying today. Oprah always seems to win. Not saying that she would say that, but from the outside in, she's making decisions that's consistently empowering her to do what she desires to do, whether it's helping people or in business. Have you noticed that about certain people? It seems like they're always making the right choices. They're always moving in the right places. They're always selecting the right stock. Come on here. They're always selecting the right relationships. Catch what I'm saying right now. Have you noticed people? It's because they have trained, conditioned, and regulated themselves, hear me, by a proper law that positions them by a river that continues to nourish them in their life and put them in a place where their leaf, it doesn't ever wither. And whatever they create, come on now, they create a magazine, it prospers. Did you hear what I said? They create an online business, it prospers. They open a ministry, it prospers. Come on now, somebody. They believe for healing, and it prospers. They decide they want miracles to manifest in their life, and it prospers. They go to get a home, and the credit is not the best. Come on now, and it prospers. They pursue a job or a career that other folks can't get hired at, and it prospers. I need y'all to catch what I'm saying. Thank you for the likes and hearts. Come on here, somebody. Because the blessed man, in his law doeth he meditate, mutter, utter, day and night. And I'm saying to you today, as I have asked the question, what did I do? What did you do? And I'm saying to you that when you are in alignment with God, when you do it, it must prosper. When you're in alignment with the right thinking, when you do it, it must prosper. Last but not least, hear what I'm saying right now. You said, well, what do I do? The key to that is your mind is, when it's regulated by the right system, the right laws, the right principles, your thinking along with your partnership with the Almighty guides you to the right places at the right time. You will be led from within to know, hear me, because you've already conditioned yourself with the right stuff. You've already conditioned yourself by the right spiritual principles and right spiritual laws. Am I making any sense to anybody? And even when you deal with adversity, your response is going to be a great response. And even when you make decisions from that unction or from that guidance, your response will be great responses. I'm going to give y'all a testimony that y'all might not like, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. And I was watching a woman recently, and she was talking about how she was learning to meditate, and she was learning to use her partnership with God and the power that the Almighty gave her within. And y'all might not like this example, but I'm gonna give it to you anyway. Some of y'all might not appreciate this, but I appreciate this. And she said that she was talking to herself and praying out loud about the things she needed to have done that urgently in her life, after she had, was spending time reconditioning her thoughts and moving out limiting beliefs and opening herself to believe that all things were possible. She said about 2 days later, she was praying out loud, speaking out loud to herself. And she said she began to talk about the urgency of something she wanted to do then. And she said a voice spoke to her from within, but not just a voice. She said, actually, it was an image. She saw a particular store. I know this might rattle some of y'all, but I got to give it to you. For this works. I'm talking about anybody who believes in principles, scriptural and otherwise. She saw a store, and she said she was supposed to go to this store. And she said when she was led to go to this store, I don't think she had ever been to this store before, but she knew where it was. And she said she was supposed to buy a scratch off. I know some of y'all say, oh God. Let me tell you what happened. She got to the store, And she said she thought she was supposed to buy a certain kind of scratch off. She said in that moment, when she asked for it, it wasn't there. So she said to herself, okay, I know I saw this vision. I know I came here. I know I followed it, but you know, and then she said something said to her, just like an unction within, get the other one right there. She said, okay, I'll take that one. She said she got it. She signed it on the back and put it in her safe. She said a week later that she had that unction again, go in there and scratch it off. The woman went in there and scratched it off and won $10,000. $10,000. Guided to the place. Continue to believe something's guiding me. Got there, looked for the thing that wasn't there. Continue to believe something got me here. Something said, get that one. She got that one. And the prayer was answered. Why am I saying this? Why did I use an example of something like that? I ain't telling y'all to go out and gamble. I'm just telling you what faith, what trusting in the guidance you receive from God and the guidance you receive from your spiritual man and the guidance you receive from your inner man. Sometimes we fight that. Sometimes we resist that because it don't make sense to us. This was a new thing to her. And I'm saying to you, some of this stuff is new to you, but learn how to trust that inner voice. Lord have mercy. So in other words, as you start becoming more in alignment with God, more in alignment with these spiritual principles, more in alignment with your dynamic spiritual self, learn that what you do, even if it don't make sense, even if you don't receive a return on it immediately, know that whatever you do has to prosper. Lord have mercy. 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 I wish I was getting more likes and hearts. I wish I was getting more likes and hearts. Let me pray for you. The giving opportunity is at the bottom of the screen. I'm going to put the book up again. I'm going to pray for you because I know I'm talking to some people. It seemed the opposite of what I was saying has been happening in your life. And I know that feeling, loved ones. I know that experience. I know that thinking. It seems like what you're doing is not working. And maybe it's not working because your mind is not aligned with the correct laws. Your mind might not be aligned with the correct spiritual principles. Your mind may not be aligned with with truths that will push you forward or break you out. As the word prosperity, the root of it means in Hebrew here, to break out. I'm encouraging you right now. I'm encouraging you right now by declaring and decreeing you are the blessed man and you are the blessed woman. And no matter what you've been battling and no matter what you've been facing, hear me, loved ones. The only thing that's required is to shift within. Acknowledge the God that is already one with you and a part of you. Acknowledge the truths that will set you free. Live them out in your heart and in your mind. And watch how you'll find yourself positioned next to a place that's feeding your spirit, your soul, and your body. And then you'll enter a system where you are immune to dormancy. You're immune to the effects of seasons. And whatever you do, it's going to prosper. My God, this is just quite amazing to me. Who am I talking to here today? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to speak and declare and decree over you. Almighty, I thank you and I declare and decree the alignment with spiritual truths and principles on everyone. Thank you for their alignment. And Almighty, I thank you for the blessing of the blessed man and woman of Psalm 1. And Almighty, I just thank you that whatever is necessary to be formed in their heart and their mind, to put them in alignment, hear me, with the spiritual truths and the frequency of this blessed man and woman in Psalms 1, is from now on activated in them. And that a fresh presence, a fresh anointing, a fresh energy, and a fresh power to prosper in everything they do is forthwith, now and forthwith, activated. Hallelujah. In them. And I bless you in Yeshua's name. It is so, and so it is. I want you to type in the comment section, I produce fruit at all times, and whatever I do prospers. Type that in the comment section. Own it now. What I just prayed over you is active. I produce fruit at all times, and whatever I do prospers. Type that in the comment section. I produce fruit at all times, and whatever I do prospers. I produce fruit at all times, and whatever I do prospers. Type that. I produce fruit at all times, and whatever I do prospers. Come on, type that in the comment section. I produce fruit at all times, and whatever I do prospers. Maybe they could be a word prescription for you. I produce fruit at all times, and whatever I do prospers. I dare you to say that tonight before you go to bed. I dare you to say that in the morning when you wake up for at least 21 days. I produce fruit at all times. I need to write that down myself. Come on, let me write that down. I produce fruit at all times, and whatever I do prospers. I got to write that down myself. I produce fruit at all times, and whatever I do prospers. My God, today. My God, today. How you feeling? I want you to take advantage of the giving opportunities that are here for us tonight. And I also want many of you to make your way to payhip.com/AG Green now. Payhip.com/AG Green now. That's my store. The book is not the only thing at that store. You can get other items from me at that particular, it's a spiritual store called Divine Species Store. Go there anytime you want. Other books, other oils, and other things at that store. But some of you all, your action tonight, what you do tonight is giving, or what you do tonight might be buying this powerful Unshackling Your Mind package. You're going to prosper in that. It's got prosperity in it, whether you sow the seed or whether you purchase the book, which is a form of a seed, and make the deposit of knowledge into your heart and your mind. I want you to take advantage of that. In every book that you buy, every product that you support enables me to continue to do what I'm doing for you and for others in this world as a spiritual leader and spiritual teacher. The 21-day challenge. I produce fruit at all times, and whatever I do prosper. I need my supporters to help remind me of the 21-day challenge. Who's going to take the 21-day challenge? I produce fruit at all times, and whatever I do prospers. And you know what I'm going to do? I think I'm going to have that schedule beginning tomorrow on the AG Green Now site, at least every other day, to remind you, morning, throughout the day, and at night, to affirm this to yourself. Who's going to take the 21-day challenge, affirmation challenge? 21-day affirmation challenge. 21-day affirmation challenge. That's what I'm calling it. 21-day affirmation challenge. Hallelujah. 21-day affirmation challenge. Who's going to do that? You got to wake up every morning anyway. Just add it to what you say. You're going to live throughout the day anyway. Just add it to what you say when it comes to your mind. And you're going to go to sleep at night. So you might as well remember to add it to what you say. I produce fruit at all times. And whatever I do prospers. All right, we got a few people on board. I'm telling you, the power of speaking. Death and life is in the power of the tongue, the scripture says, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. The power of declaration in faith, it's creative. It brings things into being in your personal life. My. Love y'all so dearly. Now, take action by either sowing a seed and buying that book package. It's $119 worth of stuff that you're getting for $19.97. Or just sow your seed offering, $AG Green, $AG Green now. And you can use the other giving opportunities, Zelle as well. It's a gift of love. And I always pray for the return on those who sow and give into my life in this service, this ministry that I offer. Thank you so much. This is a 21-day affirmation challenge. I produce fruit at all times, and whatever I do prospers. Now, you're going to probably be challenged by old programming to say, come on now. But you got to counteract that by choosing in faith to speak. I produce fruit at all times, and whatever I do prospers. And start seeing yourself turning the page and prospering in various aspects of your life. Thank you. That could be prospering in better thoughts, because prosperity is not just about money, family. It could be you prospering and choosing to think faith, choosing to think more positivity, or choosing to challenge any thoughts from trauma. It could be prospering in your career. It could be prospering in love, choosing to love more. It could, of course, be prospering, abundance, and finances. Prosperity is versatile. All right. You take this challenge, and I guarantee you, if you do it, in 21 days, you'll be better. And in 21 days, you'll feel better about your life, and you will already see some things being moved around to align, like the blessed man, with your thinking, the blessed man or woman with your thinking. Love you so dearly. Now, give and it shall be given unto you. I pray over every offering that's given here. Those who purchase books, I pray over you. You know why? Because I want you to win in this life. And I want you to be fulfilled, not just spiritually, but I want you to be fulfilled in your soul, intellectually, psychologically, emotionally. I want you to be fulfilled in your physicality, your physical body, your health. And I want you to be filled in love. All right? Filled and full and fulfilled in all dimensions of your life. Love you. Appreciate you. Shalom, shalom, peace, wholeness, and prosperity. Nothing missing, nothing broken. For you and those connected to you, peace. It is so, and so it is. Have a great day. See you soon.